shit out.
All right, hey, we're here back with the Hard Rock Life, and we are with longtime friend, former bandmate, Mike Mariano.
How we doing? How we doing?
Good, man. How you been?
Mike Mariano here. Pronouns, he, him.
For those without video.
Yeah, for all the non-video participants.
That's a beautiful start. That's a beautiful start. Did you hear that shit with Camilla? How do you say her name?
It doesn't matter.
Kalima.
Kalima.
She started doing the whole pronouns thing.
Dude, the pronouns thing. She's talking about the color of suit she's wearing,
Yeah.
probably what fucking color underwear she's got on. I mean, that's fucking...
It's amazing.
Those people are bizarre.
They are bizarre, man. Look, would you agree with this? Us growing up,
Yep.
traditionally, like us type of dudes playing punk rock and being in that whole scene, we were probably more progressive growing up than like
my God.
conservative. Like my parents, they were conservative.
Zero
I
doubt.
went the other way.
They're not the same things.
Right. Yeah.
Like-
Go. Yes.
There's I think Elon Musk tweeted it at one point. There was a meme going around, and it gave your exact point. It's a guy in like the early 2000s, whenever it was, standing on the left, and then the left keeps moving. He's still standing in the exact same spot. And then next thing you know, he's basically like
Alone.
a far right extremist.
Okay.
But he
Yeah,
hasn't
yeah,
moved.
Yeah.
Like his views are the same. That is honestly, it's exactly how I feel. I feel
Accurate.
like,
Yeah. Accurate.
I mean, we can get into all sorts of shit. I have changed views on certain things.
Same.
Second Amendment being like probably the biggest one, because at one point in my life, I would watch Bowling for Columbine. I would hear anti-gun propaganda. It made sense to me. I just wasn't educated enough on the topic. I was too young. I was just taking what I heard at face value and kind of going with that.
Because their intentions sound good. It's all
Yeah.
very well intended.
Well, and it's also well presented, right? Like
Yeah.
he's making this documentary and he's making sure he's getting his point across without the counter argument to these things.
Yeah.
But there's plenty of things that I, totally feel like I'm a liberal on, right? Like, I don't know, abortion.
Yeah.
I don't drag a baby in here right now. I'll fucking bop that thing right over the head. Like,
I don't think that's abortion, though.
well, it depends on what state you're in. I'm pretty sure Virginia gives you a couple weeks.
That's just baby clubbing. Clubbing babies.
You can look that up. There is a state where it's post-birth abortion.
Yeah. I've seen videos of that shit. My mom was like, she's heavily against abortion, very Irish Catholic woman.
Yep.
And I've seen videos. They used to take surgical scissors and stick them in the back of the baby's neck.
Oh, I was picturing like someone swatted over a blender.
Well, that's a lot funner.
The old coat hanger move, but
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. What would be traditionally thought of as your social issues, I'm pretty much there still. Gay marriage, great.
Yep. Let's get married, Mike.
Where's my ring? Trans shit. There's things to talk about there, but at the end of the day, I don't give a fuck what you're doing.
Yeah.
You're not bothering me if you hold yourself like a respectable human being.
Yeah.
I'm gonna treat you like that, and that's how it should be.
Yeah.
And
I think any trans person that I've known over the years would agree with that, because the ones that I know do hold themselves with respect, and I talk to a couple of them. They think it's all bullshit. Like everything going on is a fucking. They're just making just charlatans hijacking these movements.
Yes. And it's like, you know, I'm jokingly coming in here and saying, hey, my pronouns are he, him.
Yeah.
It's like, if I ever walked into a fucking... I always threaten Lisa with this all the time, that when we go out, I'm going to start doing that. Like, I'm going to be like, hey, my name is Mike. It's he, him. And just go... So she's, like, fucking mortified. But it's like...
Dude, if you do that in Massachusetts, a waitress might tip you.
I know. It probably would go over great, which would actually add to the joke. But it's just like, dude, I'm walking in here with a fucking beard, an Adam's apple, a fucking man's voice, looking like a snack. Like, like, you know what the fuck I am. Like, let's not do this.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. They make you want to resist this shit because they beat you over the fucking head with it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And this is my nature, and I think it's a lot of people's nature, and I think we live in New England where we literally have ancestors that were rebels and have always pushed back against the shit they don't believe in.
Yeah.
And when you shove shit down my throat, even if I agree with you, my initial reaction is to say, fuck you.
Don't
I'm
tell me
not
what
doing
to
it.
do.
Yeah, fuck you. I'm not doing that shit.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't think that's a bad default, because you do that, but then, you know, you go to your own, wherever you're going to get away from them, and you think about this shit.
Oh, of course.
I mean, you know?
And again, it's not like...
It's better than just buying in and not fucking, you know.
And it's weird that I'm even talking about, because if I walk in somewhere and there's a trans man or woman and they look believable, not that they have to look believable, but
Yeah.
let's say I can see what's going on here. This is a man biologically who is identifying as a woman. I'm going to call it a her.
Yeah. That's going to be your initial reaction.
That's just what you're going to do. Why would you not?
Yeah. I agree with I agree with the right
Yeah. I'll call you that shit.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah.
The other thing that drives me crazy...
They were trying to make that a law in Canada. They're actually trying to make that a law where you have to address them how they... And that... Making it a law, I disagree with. I will call you whatever you want me to call you. Yes. I don't give a fuck about that.
But are you supposed to know that on name tag, though?
Yeah, well, exactly.
Yeah, this whole idea of misgendering somebody is like a crime.
Right. That's fucking tough, man. How do you...
Dude, I
have friends that weren't even transvestites but looked like women, and they were guys. Girlfriends.
Pull up a picture of me in 5th grade. Yeah. I got long ass hair. I thought it was Kurt Cobain. People thought I was a girl. Like that. Facts. Yeah. It's like...
And there was one word for everything. Gay.
Yeah, everybody was gay. Yeah, everybody was a faggot. You're gay.
Yeah.
And it's just like, did it scar me for life? Because I actually had an instance where it was like, literally like treating me like, oh, like he's one little girl, like whatever.
You're good.
Here I am. Bearded, he, him.
It's wild what they're doing with kids. It's wild to push that on kids, man, and letting kids like make their own decision about who they are. That blows my mind. That's another one of those aspects of this whole thing that are like, what the fuck?
And this desire to educate them on it, like, early and so much.
Yeah.
When kids, I don't think, are even thinking about it.
They don't give a fuck.
So it's like, at what point are you, like, encouraging this, or are you, I don't know, like, what's the motivation?
Manipulating it.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Like, what's
normalize terrible fucking acts, I would think. Like, down the line, it would be like, because you hear about fucking, you know, child rape and fucking, you know, child human trafficking and shit like that.
Sure.
And, like, it's coming out more and more, and the day it does come out, it's like, oh, well, we passed all these laws. Like, this shit's, like, normal to them now. Like, haha, motherfucker, you too late. But at the same time, it's like, haha.
Yeah,
like,
they can use whatever bathroom. And the thing that drives me mental about this, too, is that I don't even care. Like, if you
Right,
use
right.
the other bathroom, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
It's never happened to me. I'm not walking into bathrooms every day and there's like a lady in there, like that's a guy. Like it just doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Like you don't really care.
Yeah.
There's so much attention focused on it that I think is completely unnecessary.
Yeah,
you know,
1000%.
It would be like if we walked around every day talking about people that only had one arm.
Yeah, right.
Like, you don't need to do that.
It's a great analogy.
You don't need to... I can be talking about me and you walking out into the parking lot and coming back in here, and I can say that way, knowing that there are people that couldn't have walked from here out to the parking lot. I don't have to say people that walk.
Able.
Imagine if we did this with everything.
It's getting there.
You know?
That's the threat.
People that walk. That's how you have to refer to people with legs now.
Yeah.
Because somebody might not have legs, and we need to make sure they're included.
Right, yeah. Yeah, it's fucking ridiculous, man.
It's weird.
Yeah. Mentally handicapped inclusion. Can you picture that in the future for media? For the, like,
nothing would surprise
everything.
me.
Everything.
Yeah. None of it surprises me. I mean, there was...
Dude, we grew up in an age of acceptance. We really did. We were raised with all the right morals, like to not, don't be a racist piece of shit.
Yeah.
Don't fucking, don't hate on
but
gay or straight or whatever.
Growing up around the punk scene
Yeah.
and knowing that it was so anti-racist, even at that, there could be racial humor that was taken as like racial humor. I'm not saying that like happened all the time.
I
but
get
like,
it. You'd hear it.
Sometimes people would just fuck around. You're
Right.
not meaning anything. It could be a black guy there. You're talking to him.
Yeah,
like,
you're talking about a group of friends.
But the biggest
with
biggest-
different colors.
The biggest problem encircling that, though, right now, I think, would be the people that are offended but aren't affected by the situation. Like, they're offended for another fucking person.
Oh,
yeah, the virtue
that's
signaling.
The fucking,
Dude, the
that's
virtue
the
signaling's
problem.
on a whole nother level now. Like, that's fucking insane.
I respect that you said people. We can say who they actually are. Single, not even single. Wealthy,
Netflix-watching
white ladies from the suburbs who want to tell you all about the trials and tribulations of black people and every disenfranchised class on earth.
Right.
The white people from Hanson know all about that, apparently. I don't know. I guess they got some class in fucking middle school that I didn't get. It's wild.
Yeah.
It's wild.
It is. It is wild.
I mean...
So being offended by a new lyric, a Beyonce lyric, do you hear about that shit?
Yeah.
I was going to bring that up. Go ahead.
You go right ahead with that.
I don't know the details on it. We could obviously pull it up, but...
So it's about
she said spaz.
She said spaz, and
Yeah.
supposedly it offends the shit out of people with cerebral palsy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Who only have, like, base emotions, fear.
Right.
Extreme fucking happiness.
Right.
And, like, that kind of stuff. They're not
Right.
like...
Right.
Oh man, that fucking motherfucker said something bad about me, didn't he? Like, they're not thinking that.
And it's because we live in a world where context doesn't matter.
Yeah. Yeah, well put.
It's like, oh, I'm sure Beyonce threw those in there because she really fucking hates people with cerebral palsy.
Right.
Like, nobody thinks that. So who the fuck cares?
Yeah.
Spazzing out, that's like...
Yeah.
I wouldn't even know that had anything to do with cerebral palsy.
Yeah. Totally.
Unless they told us that it does.
Yeah.
It was some 85-year-old fucker be like, spazzing? What's that fucking mean? What's that mean? Spasmatic? It's a medical thing. She must be talking about the fucking nitwits or whatever.
ADD. I would have affiliated with ADD, if anything.
I want to just
I have ADD. I don't give a fuck. But it's not about me. It's about cerebral palsy. So.
Well, and that's the funny thing is I feel like 90% of people with cerebral palsy wouldn't have even given a fuck.
They wouldn't even think of
But one person says it, and next thing you know, it like the mob's now coming for you.
Yeah.
And like you can get a small minority of that population, and if they make enough noise, your record's coming down. It's got to be edited. We got to do damage control. We got to put out a statement. We got to make sure.
Yeah, in the defense of people with cerebral palsy, they do have the ability to You know, think pretty much, because you can ask them a fucking
I don't even
question.
know what cerebral palsy is.
You can ask them a question and they'll tell you yes or no.
Are they like all like
exactly
gnarled up?
Yeah, and like, you know, basically no motor skills.
Okay.
Fucking.
Well, there's different stages of it.
Yeah.
Some of it is deteriorating.
Yeah, it's probably from fucking the microwave age. I don't know.
Maybe she'll get them all up there as our backup dancers. That would be fun.
Woo!
Fucking Roombas up there.
That's a joke.
Fucking wheelchairs up there looking like Roombas. Fucking just going around Beyonce synchronization. Like.
It's funny. We probably have 2 people listening, and one of them is going to be like canceled. Pieces of shit. Get the mob.
Hit me. I'll mob you.
There's going to be more people that come after us than actually know who we are.
I won't be satisfied unless half this audience hates me. So.
Well, that's the way of the world nowadays. That's the way of the world. It's fucking red or blue, man.
Yeah.
We are a very polarized country that is, in my opinion, it's hard to say the worst place it's ever been, because obviously it's been in some really bad places, but it's in one of the worst places it's ever been.
Our lifetime.
Here's where I'm divided.
Easily.
Absolutely in our lifetime. That is a safe
I am
bet.
very confused about firearms nowadays.
Yep.
So
that's the guy right here.
You gotta fucking register a firearm, right?
Here in Massachusetts.
The right thing to do.
Yeah.
So
depends on what state you're in, but yes.
Mike, you teach firearm safety courses for those who don't know.
Yes, I'm an NRA certified instructor, which means basically in the state we live in, Massachusetts.
And they hate you.
You need to take a class, a 1-day, 4-hour class that you get a certificate. You can then take that certificate to then go apply for your license.
Within therein, you fucking got a contract with these guys, a legal one, public, with your serial numbers and shit like that.
In Massachusetts.
And you have a registered weapon.
They don't call it a registration.
Oh.
But yes, you do. You essentially do. Now, the rest of the country, or I'm just going to speak broadly.
Okay.
There are states where they don't have a registration. But when you legally walk into a gun store to buy a firearm, you fill out a federal form called a 4473. That never goes away. That is a document that goes and gets filed. Does the ATF have it?
That's what I want to know.
It pretty much stays in the store.
Yeah.
And it is maintained as a record. And the ATF absolutely will and can and do go into the stores to get these files sometimes and look at them. But it's not technically a registry.
Do you give them permission for them to take it away if they want?
Your firearm?
Yes.
Give me more context. Like if they said
if they literally
AR-15s
if they literally want to
come.
No, if they literally want to come and just come take your guns, because we don't want you to have them.
That jumped.
We found something on social media, and we we decided to look you up. You got a couple registered weapons. We don't want you to have those
what
anymore.
do you have? Two options here: gun it out with the police, or turn over your guns.
That's it then. And your one unregistered one is chilling.
Or it's a little tough without the full context of why they want to take your guns. You might get your day in court, and you just want to go down that route. Maybe someone got a restraining order against you. That's total bullshit, and you're not really worried about your guns actually being gone completely, even though in this state, if someone does get a restraining order against you, you're probably fucked and never get your guns back again.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like I've heard stories about a child of a parent making threats in schools, like he's going to do a school shooting, police show up. In the scenario that it's a friend of a friend kind of a thing.
Yeah.
He voluntarily gave up his guns because they just showed up and said, hey, your fucking kid's got like a hit list. And it seemed like it was like a, whatever the term is, like a false threat. Yeah, I don't think he was actually going to do it, but it got the police there.
Yeah.
He'll probably get his guns back.
Explain. Please.
I believe over enough time, he could go back to the police station.
What the? So you
or
gotta
get
fucking,
the courts involved, get a lawyer involved, and get his guns back. Or it might even be like a period of time that they will take them for, and then you'll get them back. But I don't know, I don't have enough examples of this to say how that always plays out.
Yeah, that sounds a little dicey.
Now, they're talking about things like red flag laws, which now you're getting into some real weird shit because...
True.
Yeah, what constitutes a red flag?
What constitutes a red flag? And I mean, how easily abused is that? If me and you get in some big feud and I know you have a gun, I can just call up the police station and say, hey, Kevin's fucking threatening me. And they go take all your guns away.
Yeah.
I have no evidence that you threatened me. I have nothing other than I know you have guns and I'm going to fuck you.
Right. Yeah, just done purely out of spite.
It's like rape.
Right, yeah, screaming rape when you weren't raped.
It's like screaming rape.
Yeah. I think
fucked up.
There's probably some females disagreeing with that.
Yeah. Sorry, ladies.
Or some men in prison.
Sorry, guys.
Men are the most raped people on earth. True story.
That is true. Yeah, mostly because of the prison system.
They're also raped by men, so I don't know how much that counts.
Men.
But
yeah, right.
Still the men doing the raping, but...
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, the gun laws are fucked up, and they go different state by state. And
but I think a lot of people that have, like, that carry issues with the guns, a lot of people that are, on the take the guns or take the AR-15s.
Yep.
We'll get into the fact that an AR is not an assault rifle,
yep.
or it doesn't stand for that. But
yep.
I think a lot of people overlook the fact that there are, like, mental health background checks.
Yeah.
And that if like around in Massachusetts, for instance, if you've done time, if you end up in like a psych ward
yep.
or a mental hospital,
yep.
you're probably not going to get a gun, right?
You should be prohibited. Yep.
Yeah.
You should be prohibited. Excuse me.
That's a big deal because a lot of the people that are shooting up schools are on like SSRIs and have a history of mental health issues.
They do. So it gets tricky, right? Because you may have someone where you're going, do I want this 18-year-old kid who doesn't leave his house, who's, I don't know, looking like he's going to do something weird, saying some weird shit.
Playing Call of Duty.
But he hasn't broken a law.
Yeah.
I think everybody at this table would agree you don't want the FBI kicking your door down just because they don't like the way you look.
Right.
But you haven't broken any law. So how do you prevent those?
Solid question.
I will say this.
They're outliers.
Yeah, they're outliers. They're still rare.
Yeah.
They happen more than anybody would like. It's not like gun advocates want schools to go get shot up. No,
right.
Nobody wants this. We'd all like to come up with a way to prevent that from happening in the future. And there's a lot going on there, too, because... The kid in Buffalo who shot up that supermarket, he had the state police show up at his house prior, like years ago.
Yeah.
Over threats of shooting up his school.
Yeah.
But he was never charged with anything.
Right.
Like if you don't get charged,
that's a problem.
you're gonna pass a background check.
Right.
Right. So there's always all these red flags. The FBI is always like, oh, yeah, we were aware of them.
Yeah, and so many of these shootings, exactly.
Like all of them.
Yeah.
It's like
Parkland,
it's a ton
Parkland
of them.
shooting, and you could really go down the list.
You can go down the list. Now, I get it. There's a lot of people to track. We got 300 and something million people around.
And a lot of guns.
We got more guns than people.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
More guns than people. So are the FBI going to follow up on every lead of some fucking depressed kid in his basement? I don't know. At the end of the day, I think there's things we could do to make it better.
Yeah.
What I don't think the right move is the knee-jerk reaction to a tragedy to just pull all the guns.
Right. Yeah.
It's just, you can't do that. You can't do that.
What is the maximum any Jane or John Doe can arm themselves as far as self-defense nowadays?
Whatever you want. I mean, as far as like what you can carry in the street?
Yeah.
A handgun that you can conceal. Yeah, you can't walk around with a rifle. This is Massachusetts.
And they're saying it's limited number in the clip now?
You have 10 rounds in your magazine. Yep. The only exceptions to that, so back in 1994, the whole country had an assault weapons ban under Clinton. That ban expired during the Bush administration. He didn't continue it. States like Massachusetts kept it. So we literally still have the same exact assault weapons ban from back in 1994.
Well, we got some motherfucking road rage. So, I mean, I get it.
Well, you can get it, and I think, I always think their hearts are in the right place with some of this stuff. I mean, I don't.
But taking it away from your home, where you should be able to defend yourself under BS circumstances, and
10 rounds is what you can get in Massachusetts, unless you can find a magazine that was manufactured for a gun that it still works in prior to that September of 1994 ban. So AR-15s, for example, which right now you can't get, but in 2017, or 2016, don't quote me on this, but Maura Healey, our current Attorney General, reinterpreted the law from the way it had been interpreted for years, where basically we had this assault weapons ban. And part of that ban would say, you cannot own a Colt AR-15 with all these different attachments. It can't have a bayonet lug. It can't have a collapsible stock. Yeah. The mag's actually not.
Oh, really?
Well, the capacity is an issue, but it's more the features of the rifle. All these different things. A flash hider.
Bump stock.
Yeah, the bump stock, I actually don't know about the bump stock, but you can't have that now. Yeah, you can't have it now.
Yeah.
So what people were doing, gun stores were doing, they would remove all those features. All right, you can't have a flash hider, we're going to take that off. We're going to put a compensator on it. All right, you can't have the bayonet lug, let's just shave that down. You can't, the stock on the rifle can't collapse, let's pin it so you can't open it and close it. And they sold every type of rifle that was basically the same as an AR-15 forever past that, until one day when she took that all away.
Right.
Everything that got sold during those times is still grandfathered in.
Yeah.
So like, I could sell mine to you if you had a license and vice versa, but you can't walk into a gun store and buy it.
Gotcha.
Here's the real dumbest shit with it all. The AR-15's banned.
Yeah.
But I can go buy a Scar Heavy, Scar 17, I think it is. That's in 308. It's a way bigger round.
Yeah,
and go absolutely fucking annihilate everybody.
Yeah. Yeah. That's wild.
So what is it accomplishing?
An AR is like what, like a 22?
It's that's deceiving. It's a .223 round or 5.56, the same thing.
Semi-automatic.
Semi-automatic. It is a much smaller bullet than 308.
Yeah.
But the bullet size doesn't matter quite as much as you would think. It's the
velocity.
It's the velocity. It's the amount of gunpowder in the brass that's sending that really small bullet at like 3,000 feet per second.
That's badass.
It will fuck somebody up. I mean, that's
good.
just
I
being
wanted
honest.
to.
That's what it's built to do.
That's what I wanted to do if I needed to.
Exactly. So it's really goofy because some things are banned, some things that are, you could argue, are even worse are available. It's just a mess.
Yeah.
It's a mess.
And God forbid they put thought into it, like critical thinking instead of ban this, ban that, take this. Like, God forbid they fucking put some critical thinking.
No, there was literally no critical thought to it.
Right.
In fact, that initial weapons ban from 94 and the one we later adopted, they literally opened up a gun catalog and started pointing at rifles that looked like military.
Wow.
Like if it was brown and had a brown stock on it, they'd be like, oh, no, that's fine. That's clearly just like a hunting thing, even though it could be a super high caliber rifle.
Yeah.
And if it looked like an AR-15, no, we can't have that.
Wow.
So it was done that way because it was done by anti-gun people who don't know what the fuck they're looking at.
Right.
They don't know.
Yeah. Oh, for the longest time, like the mainstream media would be writing home about AR-15s and how horrible they are, but not know what the fuck they are.
Oh,
I heard them even. I've heard CNN talk about how they thought it stood for assault rifle.
Yeah. It's a armor light rifle. It was like
Right.
the manufacturer of the rifle.
And I've heard many people make that
Assault rifle,
mistake.
I don't even believe it has an actual definition, at least in a civilian term. I think in the military, it's like
an
a
M16
full
or
auto
something,
rifle that, you know, is capable of having that selector switch. It doesn't exist. Every gun you get as a civilian is semi-automatic. You pull the trigger, the bullet comes out.
Yeah.
That's it. So there's just a lot to unravel there, but yeah, there's a lot of bad information. You have our own president saying that a 9mm bullet will blow the lungs out of somebody. I don't know if you ever saw that quote. That was not that long ago. He said it would literally blow the lungs out of a person. I mean, I can pull up a video right now of a guy being shot like 15 times at point blank, and he's going, he's like still like coming at the cop. He's Swiss cheese. He's still coming. Like, I don't think his lungs came out of his body there. You know.
Man, yeah. Well, he says a lot of fucking doozies.
That man's got some quotes.
Yeah, he does, man.
It's wild.
He's out of his mind. He's out of his mind. He's just senile. He's like sick, like just fading in front of everybody.
It seems, you know, I try not to get too political. I mean, I definitely have my views.
Yeah.
And I think both sides suck, so it's like I hate when I'm just like with the gun shit and with
I only mention him now
because
he's the president now. I
and he deserves everything he gets. And I hate just like feel like I'm like slamming Biden, but I would slam Trump when he would do fucked up shit too.
Absolutely.
The guy is rapidly declining.
Yeah. In front of our eyes.
It's pretty bad.
Yeah.
It's pretty bad.
Yeah.
Where are you guys out? Where are you guys on the whole Roe v. Wade thing?
I think it's ridiculous.
To ban it.
Yeah, man. All right. Well, first of all, like, I am not for abortion as a male. I'm all about a woman choosing what to do.
Yep.
And I understand that there's many instances where there has to be communication between the woman and the man. You know, that's fine.
Yep.
Figure it out. But ultimately, and I know that's a cliche thing to say, but I'm not the woman. It's not my body. I do believe in her rights.
Yeah.
It's her body, her choice. I fucking believe that. I believe that with the vaccine too.
If you want to get it.
Right.
Yeah, I would agree with everything you said. I think there's some debate, and I wouldn't be the person to have this debate because I don't have enough of the info, but that there's no place for it in the Constitution. Like, there's no amendment or anything that actually
like they
speaks
use those
directly to abortion.
Like they look at those often anyway.
Right. Well, they did try to claim it was under some form of a medical freedom like type of a thing.
Yeah.
So
I've
like
heard
you
that
could
before.
have that debate, I suppose. Like, hey, maybe it should be legal, but maybe it's just not something the Supreme Court should be deciding on.
Or not guys.
Or not guys. I suppose you could look at that. I mean, men get pregnant too, Brian.
You dummy.
They don't. Unless they do. I don't know. What the fuck do I know?
Yeah, I know. What do we know anymore?
Honestly, and when I say shit like that...
So who, if Biden's not running the show, who do you think it is? It's clearly not.
Currently, God, I don't know. I mean, Kamala can't be running it. She's fucking almost just as
She
bad
just
as he is.
cackles at everything.
It's just the party.
Hi, I'm Kamala Harris.
Yeah.
I identify as she, her. I'm wearing the blue suit. I have the cackle coming out of my mouth.
Is that in case is that blue suit in case anybody tries to call it gold or some bullshit like that?
I don't know. I thought maybe it had something to do with if you were
Democrat.
like visually impaired on some level. I like who the fuck knows?
I don't.
dude?
Yeah.
There's accessibility options on your TV if you choose to fucking do that shit. You don't need to announce
Oh, I don't
it.
even know if it was for the TV. I think it was for like the people at the fucking table sitting right next to her.
In case any of y'all colorblind.
But if you're colorblind, hey, my shirt's blue. Oh, all right, well, cool. It looks fucking green to me. Like, what the fuck?
I think they could see shades of blue and like red or some shit.
I don't know.
Jamie would know.
Is Jamie colorblind?
Yeah,
He
son of
is,
a
yeah.
it's pretty bad.
Yeah. That freak.
Dude, he used to drive to work fucking all hungover because we worked together and partied together, and fucking I'd be terrified at those lights. I was like, how do you know which one if it's like sideways, dude? He'd always be falling asleep at the wheel, but like, you know.
But I'm more worried about the colorblind.
I always thought it was wild that he owned a t-shirt company and put out a ton of awesome fucking gear, and I found out he was colorblind.
Yeah.
How you do that, dude?
Yeah. I heard you guys talking about that. I listened to that pod. I had a virus clothing shirt. I wore that shit all the time. I got a
that's
picture.
Right. That's right.
I have a picture of us practicing, and I'm wearing that shirt.
Yes.
That was like my jam.
Yeah.
Talk about those days.
Yeah.
It's a good chasing tomorrow.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah. I remember buying it. It was at a hall.
Like a Knights of Columbus.
It was it was in Hanover, right by like the big town hall there and the church and everything. There's like a hall right next to that.
A show? Was it a show?
It was a show. Yep. My cousin's band 12 Cent was playing there at the time.
Shout out to 12 Cent.
Shout out Tom. Shout out 12 Cent. Shout out Pete.
Scotty.
Making
Dan Scott.
yeah, Dan Scott. Making Incredible Time is their new adventure out in California.
Yeah, they still doing that?
Dude, they got some good fucking. Only one album, but dude, that shit's a banger.
When did that come out?
Years ago.
Okay.
Years ago.
I gotta pick that up.
Yeah,
They're fucking good musicians.
I'll literally give you the CD. I have my
Right
car.
on.
Yeah,
Right on.
it's good. It's talented.
Oh, we're doing CDs. All right.
Yeah.
I got a CD player.
Don't get rid of
he,
his
gave,
CDs.
he gave me a CD. That's the only kind of thing I have it. But I'm going back out to visit him in
I always loved that
San
name.
Diego in November, so I can get it on the
Nice.
yeah.
I always thought that was a solid name. I like that name. Making
I mean,
Incredible
yeah,
Time.
I don't know. I don't know if I've ever gotten the genesis of that, but yeah, I mean, that
Sounds
is a good one.
Those dudes are always a riot, man.
Yeah, they just have fun with it, and they did it for so long, and they are talented. My cousin can play the fuck out of the bass. He can play the fuck out of the guitar.
Yeah.
He will admit he cannot sing for shit, but that adds to the character.
I always liked his voice.
Dude, it's punk.
Dude,
Like,
yeah,
Again,
some of
this is about 12 Cent.
Yeah, one of my favorite singers of all time is Tim Armstrong.
Yes.
Not a traditionally great singer.
Yes.
His fucking voice is awesome.
Yes.
It's awesome.
And it's not like Tom sings, primarily. Pete takes the heavy lifting, and
I always
Pete
like
is
Dan's
very good.
voice too. Yeah, Pete's got a cool voice.
Dan had a good voice when he played.
They
I
all
like
do.
Dan.
They sound like characters like in their music.
Yep. But yeah, the stuff they put out is very tight. It sounds like what they've always sounded like, but way more refined, I would say.
Cool.
They're just very professional.
Right
you
on.
know?
Yeah.
They've just been doing it for so long. Like you guys,
Yeah.
you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We like to think we do.
Well, you've picked up on a few things.
Yeah,
at
we
the
picked up
very
on a few
least.
things. Yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
even know
exactly.
where I ran off track talking about 12 Cent and Tom, but
We were talking about you guys getting into music.
Yeah, well,
Back
our
to
first
the old
band
days.
was our first band that actually went to a recording studio was
Yep.
Chasing Tomorrow.
yeah, man,
Yeah,
that was
and
fun.
You and I were like doing like talent shows together too.
Yep.
I still have that shit.
Dude, I remember
I got
we
the
were,
green CD.
Dude,
I got an old burner.
only have the Charlie Brown thing, and we recorded like maybe 3 to 6 songs after that.
Yeah,
and I don't know that I have those anywhere.
Pat McKean, our former drummer.
Yep. He has them, you think?
Yeah, he always did have them. He's always had them floating around.
We should get him in here. Have you talked to him?
Oh yeah. He's coming on.
Right. I'll come back for that one.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. That'd be awesome. Yeah, we were just talking to him the other day. His band's coming in here, play live on the show, and
nice.
Hang out.
Is he gonna bring the Partridge Family? Motherfucker's got like 20 ass kids.
I know he should.
Hey,
adorable kids.
If it needs any of them taken care of.
Baby clubber.
I am pro-choice.
Dude, one day this fucking thing is gonna shatter. Like
that chair?
Yeah, so we have, for those who can't see this, we have a big round glass table, and then we have 2 amplifiers, 2 412 Marshall speaker cabinets supporting it underneath, which is pretty fucking cool. The red one works.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And then but we need one more like right here, because I know someone like Pat, dude, or like his singer Rob Carroll, like
gonna smash the fuck
yeah,
out.
they're just gonna lean on it and just.
I'm feeling solid as fucking stone over here.
Yeah.
I mean, not that I'm putting my full weight into it or anything. But.
No.
Yeah, man, these things need shit to fall on them to break, like fucking a body.
Dude, I'm telling you, I'll break.
Yeah, you want to try it out? Anybody down to get body slammed?
Yeah, dude. Dude, wrestling has been on my fucking feed, like, for some reason. Talk about music, though.
We can talk about whatever.
Let's talk about whatever, man.
Are you a wrestling man, Brian?
I was.
You was.
I was as a child.
Well, I was as a child.
I was I was a fan of classic WWF.
Okay.
We're talking.
You ever get thrown through a table?
How much?
I may or may not have.
Would you like to right now?
Not this one.
Okay.
Have you ever been paralyzed during a tombstone pile driver?
Never.
Would you like to?
No.
So you're talking like the Bret the Hitman Hart days, your
That was my mom's favorite.
Hogans, your fucking.
My mom had a hard on for Bret.
The Legion of Doom, your fucking.
Ultimate Warrior.
The Ultimate Warrior.
Have you guys seen that reality show about like the documentary show about like Beyond the Mat? Or
I don't know.
Is that what it's called?
I already know it's too depressing, but go
it's
ahead.
awesome. It's awesome. Yeah, some of it's very depressing.
Yeah.
But it's like just about wrestling, and it's like the backstories to all the characters, like the real person behind the character. And yeah, a lot of it ended tragically.
It always does.
But yeah, I saw the one on like Benoit like not that long ago. Yeah. Yeah, speaking of baby killers. Oh, they weren't even babies.
Father
they were, like,
of
fucking,
the year right there.
Yeah, right. Jesus.
Yeah,
and they linked that to like CTS and shit. You know?
Yes, CTE, yes.
It's hard to watch, man, because you're looking at this footage of this dude when he was like, his family loved him, and you can tell like they speak so highly of him, the ones that are alive, and they.
Oh, you're talking like after the fact.
Yeah, even after the fact. Like, I mean, I think he's got a surviving son, and it's someone else, but. They're like we love him so much, and it just it's tragic. But you look at all the footage of him with his children, and you can tell he was a great guy. He was a great dad. And then
listen,
just
those
so many blows
traumatic brain
head,
injuries
man.
are a motherfucker.
Nothing to fucking.
I don't know that most people fucking hang their kids from their gym equipment.
No, it's
but
unforgivable.
They definitely got some. They got some problems.
Yeah, totally.
I mean,
was that Chris Benoit?
Yeah, but the brain is so fucking complex, and like it really could take somebody who's.
They know nowadays that when you get a concussion, it essentially never goes away.
Yeah.
You have brain damage.
Yeah.
Now, a concussion in itself
but that
is
can
not
rear its
like,
head in many ways.
Yeah, and it's not a deal breaker like, you're gonna go fucking murder your whole family.
Right.
The problem is if you get another one in very close proximity, it's like doubling up on it. It's not like, it just was like, that's a little worse. No. Yeah. Every single time you get one,
it's worse.
It is significantly worse.
Yeah.
That's why they look at, like, the fuck was the Patriots player there that murdered that guy?
Aaron Hernandez. Yeah.
They said his brain looked like a fucking 80-year-old.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, man.
I mean, the guy was like, I don't know, maybe 30 or something like that. Like
maybe.
And then the Netflix special was like, he was a murderer, and he was gay.
A lot of shit came out about him on that.
Yes.
Interesting shit.
Yeah, that was a curveball.
So that kind of...
Not that matters, just so everyone knows. It does not matter. But it was a curveball. It was like, holy fuck. But they also, like...
They linked it to mental health.
I
don't know.
Health,
you know,
yeah, that's a weird...
That motherfucker was pretty handsome.
He was handsome.
That's a gay dude.
And if you're in jail with him, dude, you fucking haven't gotten laid in a while. He hasn't gotten laid. If that, okay, he's.
Well, I think he was gay prior to going to the jail thing.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. Yeah,
you don't think that was just him being competitive?
No, he had he did have a boyfriend before that. But you know, if I'm in prison with that dude and he agrees like we can do each other and he's not just him man driving me, that's cool.
Yeah, I think he was a tortured soul. I think he was a violent person. I mean, he's a football player on a D1 level. I mean, you're talking
amazing. Just
1 in a million odds, just phenomenal.
Yeah.
I mean, even to make the NFL is unbelievable, and then to get there and actually be a amazing player.
Yeah.
You know, that's incredible.
He was a gifted athlete. He was elite. He was an elite athlete.
He was an elite athlete, but he took a bunch of hits. And I mean, these people are taking hits from well before their brain is even fully developed. They're playing pee-wee football. They're playing high school football. And high school football isn't like high school football over here at Whitman fucking Hanson. Like, those dudes are playing in, like, stadiums in the Midwest and shit.
Yeah.
I don't know where he was. He was in Connecticut, or
life
Rhode Island.
Over there, yeah.
He's playing in a school that's like, hey, this kid's unbelievable.
Let's put him on a team with a bunch of unbelievable people.
Then you get into college.
Yeah.
But everybody who played with him in college would say, like, I think they liked him, but he was doing fucked up shit.
Yeah, he was a weird
He was
dude.
acting hard, yo.
Yes.
Like,
you know, Tim Tebow would, like, hang out with him, who's, like, a
godly man. Yeah.
Like,
he's like a Mormon.
Gentle, just nicest dude ever.
Yeah.
But, yeah, then Aaron shot up a couple people outside of a nightclub in a drive-by.
Yeah.
I mean, the dude was a ticking time bomb. He fucking left.
Something Floyd. What was that guy's name?
Odin Floyd was the guy that he ultimately, like, actually got caught killing a fucking mile from his house.
Yeah.
Spit out his chewing gum at the crime scene.
Right.
I mean, caught himself on his own home video camera walking around with the gun.
That's right.
I mean, it's like he didn't even try to get away with it.
No.
It's sad. It's sad. I mean...
Yeah. His hanging... Dude, as bad as all that was, when I heard he hung himself, I was kind of like, damn, man, that's... No, you know what it was? It wasn't that I cared. It was more of like, that's a sad ending. His life was just fucking tragic.
I think it's very...
And that was a tragic ending.
Yes.
All of it.
And this happens to me all the time with just tragedies in general. And I think it's natural. I'm sure it happens to you and a lot of other people. I often feel bad for the perpetrator. I feel bad for the person that went and murdered somebody.
Yeah, it happens.
Because they basically just ruined their life.
Yeah.
It would be not a lot different than if they committed suicide, which he ultimately did.
Totally.
It is a form of suicide. It's the same way with these school shooter kids. Like, they're just, whether they actually die by the end of it or not, that is the fate that they have decided that they are going to at least kill their life without, like, taking their life in some cases. A lot of them actually do kill themselves.
Yeah, right. I was just thinking Columbine when you and me were going to St. Bridget's in Abington when that happened.
Yes.
It's like, that whole thing's just tragic. And when they died, it's tragic because it's like, who the fuck failed those dudes? Like, how did that happen? How does this happen? You know? I don't think you can just blame it on guns.
The guns are going to be there, and
people. I know that's cliche, right? People kill people, not guns.
Oh, of course, the guns aren't doing it.
Come on, man.
I mean, the gun is the tool. So if I take a box truck and drive through a parade, I killed the people.
Right.
I just used the truck.
And
as
you're
the
referencing.
tool.
Was that in France?
That did happen in France. It's happened in a lot of places.
Yeah, it has.
There was the guy who drove through that parade this year.
Yeah, right.
Fucking,
dude, I forgot about that.
You know what I mean?
So it's so much shit is going on all the time. It's like you
can't even keep up. And if it's not the gun, it's something else.
But you're right. The fucking truck, the gun, the knife.
You would never in a million years go, geez, that guy drove the car through that thing. We might want to think about who can get a car now.
Right, exactly. Exactly.
But here's, and that is one argument. The better argument to me is, or not even an argument, just the way I feel about it, you cannot get rid of the Second Amendment. It is vital for us to be able to protect ourselves, whether that means from each other, whether that means from
the government,
whether it means from a foreign government,
Yeah. 1000%, man. And that's in our Constitution, You have the right to fucking bear arms and to raise up against your oppressor.
Yes. I will take 1,000 of those school shootings and still be pro-Second Amendment.
Do you know how many schools are in America?
Oh, it's so many fucking people, dude.
Dude, and I'm not trying to make these lives seem insignificant, but like if you really break it down, I looked this up a few years ago, so my numbers are way the fuck off. But there's hundreds and thousands of schools.
Yes, I believe hundreds of thousands is actually in the ballpark.
It's in the ballpark. Yeah. I'm confident of that. Pretty confident. I could be bullshit if somebody wants to fucking type things in, but that's no. Don't worry about it. But yeah. Well, and then then you look at the students, right? You look at it, and you're looking at a problem that kills not even 1% of the kids.
Yep.
It's and people.
Oh, dude.
And I'm not trying to downplay the lives that are lost. It is fucking tragic. And there are people right now that are going to hear this being like, you are a piece of shit. And I will say, God damn it, I'm not. If I saw someone pull a gun out on you, even for calling me a piece of shit, and I had a gun, I'd end them.
Of course.
And you would thank me for that.
Of course.
There are 130,930 public and private.
I said 100.
You said 100,000. I knew you were in the ballpark.
How many students? No worries.
Yeah, exactly. You're blaming the tool that the person is using. And yes, there are tons of people in this country. You're always going to have
49.4 million.
Those outliers. Holy shit.
Yikes.
You're always going to have those loose cannon outliers.
Yeah.
Why punish all of the normal people like myself that will never in a million fucking years walk into a school and shoot everybody?
Dude, your car analogy was perfect. Like, take away the cars.
Yeah.
Don't.
You're not, but yeah, exactly. It's not even that it's a perfect analogy. It's just giving you an example of something you would just never do.
Right.
Even knives.
Yeah.
Oh, 10 people got stabbed.
Yeah.
You would go, oh, wow, that's fucking crazy. That person's horrible.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be thinking about the knife.
You know who I think about more, who affects our lives directly more? The fucking government.
Oh.
And people always say, well, what are you going to do against the government? They have tanks and they have that. It's like, do you know how many militias are in America? Do you know how many people that are in the army that would rise with the people because they are in a militia outside of the army? Not to get into all that, there are ways to protect each other.
I will give you that whole argument right now. Look at Afghanistan.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
What did they? Do you think they have jets and tanks and nukes?
All the dangerous shit we fucking gave to them.
Flip-flops and an AK, and we left there. And guess who runs fucking Afghanistan right now? The Taliban. Yeah. So it's like,
isn't that America though?
That is America.
Yep.
But to say that, oh, you couldn't fight them with just.
Fuck you, I can't.
Really? Because I can give you 10 examples of people doing exactly that.
Yeah.
And what's the first fucking thing that happens when Ukraine's about to get invaded? We need guns.
Yeah.
And they don't have guns.
And they take your tax money for it.
Yeah, they take our guns. Yeah, all right, we'll send you a bunch of guns.
Yeah, right.
And then right before the invasion, they were coming out with all sorts of, pictures of them holding like cardboard cutouts of guns and shit like that.
Yeah.
It's like,
dude, I'll tell you one thing that
goes along with like what I really blame for those outliers, like getting fucking fucked up in the head in the first place, is the media. Like,
absolutely.
Absolutely.
You saw that on the media.
Yeah.
It's like shit that they want to show you. Like they show mad violence
Yeah.
Like me growing up, me and like our boy John Bates, we were into like mad violence. We loved like guns and shit.
Yeah.
And you know, nothing fucking pushed us over the edge or anything like that. Nothing fucked up.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's like, I blame like shit like that. I don't blame video games or anything because that actually takes concentration. You know what?
Yeah, but you know what?
But the movies, fucking.
You can blame it all to a degree. It affects somebody. There is some kid playing Call of Duty every day that is mentally unhinged and will go out and hurt somebody, and because he's been desensitized, that is an extremely small number.
Yeah.
But I can't say you can't say it's not. Like it's everything and anything.
You're right, but blaming them doesn't make any sense.
No.
Only because you're playing a numbers game.
Absolutely.
GTA has sold like I'm not even exaggerating.
There's a new one coming out soon.
1 billion copies or something like that.
Yeah. Yet
if
billion.
GTA made you into a homicidal maniac, we would have billions of these people.
Yeah, you're right.
We don't.
Yeah.
We have a fucking few creepy kids that haven't seen the light of day.
Yeah.
Who don't have any friends. They have mental problems. I'm not like, I don't hate anybody that has mental problems, but that's just what they got.
Yeah.
There's always the signs. There are a few people around them that know it.
Yeah.
That girl's, the Uvalde shooter's sister.
Mm-hmm.
He was trying to get her to buy a gun. He had been posting things, but they were kind of online for people that really didn't know him, probably didn't feel like it was something for them to report.
How is that a source? Like that one thing?
They'll come up with whatever source they can get. Like whatever the fuck gives them a leg up to get your guns or to take whatever.
What do you mean as a source?
Like just the shit that people say about situations like this. I'm more of an observer in case you guys I don't take sides and shit like that. It's always been like me watching all this shit.
Yep.
And what was that? We
were talking about the Uvalde shooter, and you asked why it was a source.
Yeah.
So his shit going on with his sister.
Yes.
Who said that?
Who said that he had shit? His sister told the police that he had asked her to buy him a gun, and she said
why
no.
The fuck would we listen to anything the police fucking would relay?
Because they're going to take whatever source they can get. There's an agenda is all I'm saying. There's an agenda. You're right, Brian. You're 1,000% right. You're right.
Unless these fucking people are going out and talking to people on their own.
I just don't think it's a stretch. Let's put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
Would that surprise me if some mental kid wanted his sister to go buy a gun so we could go shoot up a school?
Of course not.
It doesn't sound crazy. Could it be inaccurate?
They're trying to destroy the shit out of the family unit.
I agree with that.
In many ways,
every divorce is due to finance, like a majority, 90% of it.
Sure.
Fucking, everybody, there's no one at home to take care of the kids. Fucking, they're going to jack up the prices of that shit.
Sure.
They're getting rid of words like mother, father, fucking
systematic.
Like that in the talk of Congress.
I agree with all that. I would go back to your point earlier about the media and how we live in this culture of wanting to be famous and wanting to have notoriety or infamy. And when you're the biggest loser on earth that has nothing, well, that's a surefire way to be the most famous person on earth, at least at that exact moment after you've killed 19 kids.
Yeah.
And guess what the news is going to talk about for the next month?
They're going to write home
It's going to be all about you.
They're going to share the numbers. They're going to share the statistics.
Who do you think your family's going to talk about for the rest of their lives?
Yeah.
It's going to be you.
Yeah.
I think that is a massive motivator. And it puts me in a tough spot because my gut would be the media should never even talk about these when they happen.
Yeah.
They should
Why
never
give
mention
them the
a
fucking
name.
attention?
I don't want to know how many people died. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'll tell you why there's a conflict there. Obviously, I want the media to be able to report on whatever they want.
Right.
That's an important thing that we have. But it should be like an ethical, unsaid rule amongst them. And if someone breaks it, it is what it is. But generally, it should be like a code of ethics saying, hey, we're contributing to this.
Yeah.
We shouldn't give all of the details.
Yeah.
And you let those communities, as those happen, they can have memorials and they can do all the things. And
yeah. I think that's a good place to take a break, and
absolutely,
we'll come back.
We'll be back, folks.